What is good, beautiful people? I'm your host, KingLionOFLocs. Um, I I don't know how to start this off, so bear with me. Um, this is 48, 48, almost 72 hours when you guys probably will see this to the ending of one of the greatest entertainers of our generation, my generation, John Cena. As you guys already saw in the title of the video, um how I wanted to do this is dying on your sword or going out on your own terms. And what I mean by that um is is the legacy that someone has built up to being this unmovable object, this unyielding, this never give up, this never give up entity that you created, and then for however you want to look at it, either going out on your own terms or dying on your own sword. What I mean by that, for those that don't know, last Saturday, John Cena had his retirement match against Gunther, and he he lost. He tapped out. Um, I want to tackle this video in separate points as to how I felt about the ending, the journey leading up to this ending, and what it meant for me as a John Cena fan. I need you guys to understand that um I need you guys to understand that I am a big John Cena fan. He was one of the main reasons why wanted to have dog tags wherever I went. I have John Cena memorabilia. I have the wristband that a friend got me when he went to John Cena's when he went to a wrestling event years ago. I had a John Cena shirt. People that know me, that knows the story about my John Cena, the same color shirt, John Cena shirt that I had it when I was wrestling with my cousins. We were play wrestling, and this is not a you should go out and do this, but we would actually wrestle, and I had on my John Cena shirt, and I would talk shit saying that I'm not gonna tap out because my hero John Cena doesn't tap out. Obviously, he has tapped out before, but during the Super Cena era, he never tapped out. So as far as I was concerned, John Cena had never tapped out. I repped that so hard that my cousins would put me in submissions, and one cousin that was very heavier set than me put me in a figure four leg lock, and instead of tapping, my knee popped out of place, and then still instead of tapping out, I popped that bitch back into place and was able to roll out and able to not tap out. Dumb, I know, as a 12, 13, 14 year old child, not that doesn't know wrestling is like is a scripted thing, and that you have to be able to be safe while you're wrestling. We were wrestling just for the fuck of it, and I refused to tap. I refused to tap out. Fucked up my knee. I won't tell you which knee it is, because if you ever see me, then you know you'll get that insight on me. But one of my knees is forever screwed. Um, Still didn't tap though. Still didn't tap. To make matters worse, we continue to wrestle. That same cousin, respect to him. That same cousin would use his leg strength, because that motherfucker had tree trunk legs. Y'all want you like shout outs to the big wrestlers like the Big E's, and that nigga had tree trunk legs. Would wrap his legs around my rib cage and would squeeze, and I almost blacked out because I refused to tap, because those colors, I wish I had the shirt still, but those colors don't run, and I refused to tap out. I almost blacked out, and the only thing to save me from passing out was my auntie coming in saying, "Hey, let him go because he's going to pass out." But that was the mindset that I had being a John Cena fan, is that hustle, loyalty, and respect. We don't tap out. We never give up, right? That's what I was led to believe as a John Cena fan. And it's in one sense it's ignorant to think of that, because you it's childlike to believe that you can always fight the good fight. And so there's the part of me that can respect how he went out, but then there's the other part of me that grew up with this man. This man had 23 years in the business. I am 30. I grew up with John Cena through the Doctor of Thugonomics to the, well, from the Ruthless Aggression to the Doctor of Thugonomics to the Super Cena era to the We Hate John Cena, We Love John Cena. I wish I still had. Not only do I have this and the dog tags, I wish I still had another tangent. Never give wrestling DVDs to your ex when y'all aren't dating anymore, because that just doesn't work out. But I was able to get back some of my wrestling DVDs. I have John Cena's first main title win in here that I've kept on, and then the next year where he defended it against Triple H. Shout out to that ball bastard too. Shout out to that ball bastard. We gonna get with you. We gonna get with you second. We gonna get with you. I also have other wrestling DVDs, but those are the only two that I cared about. Next to the John Cena of My Life, which was like his first documentary of his life leading up to the Super Senior era. Before we got into the PG era, this was still the Doctor of Thugonomics, where he was doing 5 minutes with the champ or 5 questions with the champ. And I would remember playing that on repeat. My brother was a Batista fan, and he would be like, "Do we still gotta watch this white boy like do the 5 minutes of the champ?" And I'm like, "Yes, we do." That was my nigga. It was like in the tier of like white boys that I fucked with, it was like John Cena and Eminem. And like, I don't care if like y'all say like, "Oh, he listened to Eminem." Yes, I did listen to Eminem. But those are my two white boys that I fucked with heavily. And so I wanted to make sure that I watched that match leading up to. And I will say I was a little disappointed. First off, I know that with wrestlers, it's you for a retirement match, you go out on your back. I was okay with that. I was. For most wrestlers, except for maybe Sting and the Undertaker, which I want to go on a separate tangent about the Undertaker. I'll dive into that a little bit about in this video, but like the Undertaker's ending, I still have gripes about how he went out, but that man had 30 plus years in the business. He deserved to go out how he went out. Sting deserved to go out how he went out. But for a man that has given so much for this business and has given so much for everyone, John Cena deserved to go out a little bit better than how he went out. I am fully aware that this was his call. And while I understand that this was his call, because you could watch through the whole match, he was visibly calling everything as John does. I understand that. What I don't agree with, and this is the part where I don't agree with how the match ended. John, in his interviews leading up to his retirement, had said in interviews that if the WWE or like CEOs or like if the company itself, if the WWE company itself told him, "Hey, we're going another way," John would be like, "Okay, I'm on board with it." He really didn't. There wasn't anything that the WWE gave him that John was like, "No, I don't really want to do this. No, I don't really want to do that." With the exceptions, every now and again, I know there are some wrestlers that come up front that says like the Jack Swaggers or the David Otungas. They were like, John really wasn't the best person. Like, if you got him mad, then he was the worst person to deal with, or a diva. With those exceptions, John was pretty much a company man. He was willing to do business for the company's sake. So I do feel like that if the company cared enough about John Cena, they would have been like, "Hey, you are already losing. You know this. We know this. How about you give us Super Cena one last time? And he did that. That match was really good. I enjoyed the match. It made me believe that there was a slight chance that John was going to win. He was going to be one of the other wrestlers that on the Mount Rushmore of being able to go out on top and not to go out on your back. I believe that being John Cena. It wasn't until the end of the match or getting near the end of the match where Gunther had him in the submission for the longest time, where he was getting he gave us the three drop downs, and then the last one he came up and did the okay sign for us. That I still believe that okay, maybe he can come back. Maybe he doesn't tap. He doesn't tap for me, okay? But then at the end of the match where he's still in that same submission and he doesn't look at the screen, but you can see he's looking out somewhere and he just smiles. And then he just submits. And there's two parts of me. There's the part of me that was like, okay, this is not Super Cena anymore. This man is almost 50. He has said in many interviews that his body cannot go like he used to anymore. If you've seen him in like out in public, he's hunched over. He walks a little certain way. He's not the same John Cena that was able to lift the Big Show and Edge. He's not the same John Cena that was able to have bloody matches with JBL or have matches on matches with Randy Orton. Yes, he did have the same match. He did have a match with Randy Orton, but he didn't have that same level. He said that like every match he had leading up to his retirement was all he had. Was all he had. And so there's that part of me that was like, okay, I understand that you're not going to win. But damn it, like I needed you to at least pass out. I like watching you give up after 20 plus years of saying like I never give up. These colors don't run, hustle, loyalty, and respect. You can't make me submit. I've seen this man get whipped. I've seen this man get hit in the back. I've seen this man get beat the fuck down and not submit. But to see him submit to Gunther, which I will say, Gunther deserve and need are two different things. Let me say that. He did not need that submission win. Could he have won? Yes. Could he had made John Cena pass out? Yes. Did he need to make John Cena submit? I honestly don't think so. And you guys let me know how you feel on this, but like I honestly feel like Gunther already retired Goldberg. He was going to retire John Cena. He did not need to have John Cena submit for that match. He could have had him pin. He could have pinned John Cena. He could have made John Cena pass the fuck out, and then that'd have been the end of it. With him being now this really big heel, I feel two ways about it. With him being now this super heel, I like it how it's dangerous. It is dangerous, but I like it how we went back to old school wrestling where heels are treated like heels, where they are the most hated motherfuckers on the planet. To the point of which, and it is dangerous. And while I don't agree with some of the antics that us as a culture, the WWE universe and the wrestling universe culture has taken it to death threats, and you gotta now have security walk out. There is a part of me that was like, this is old school wrestling where a heel wrestler has death threats. A heel wrestler, like the lines between kayfabe and real wrestling and like kayfabe and real life are starting to blur because motherfuckers are so invested and so passionate about this that they are willing to fight for a motherfucker that they don't even like that yes they grew up with, but this motherfucker don't know you. And so the fact that Gunther now has to walk out with security, there's a part of me was like, yeah, motherfucker, you gonna have to walk out with security. You just made the man that just does not submit tap. Like, yes, he went out on his own, but he didn't die on the sword. And like that's what I mean. Like, I wanted him to die on his sword. I wanted him to die. Like, I wanted him to pass out. I wanted him to be like, I'm not giving up. I have been Super Cena for so many years. The crowd was yelling Super Cena. The crowd was yelling, don't tap out. Please don't tap out. And for him to just smile and then tap at the end, that hurt. Like, the crowd was silent. You could hear a motherfucker break wind. Like, I have not seen a decision that nobody enjoy since the Brock Lesnar Undertaker streak ending. And I honestly feel like it says the reason, like the two things that people would never think was going to happen: the streak ending, and then John Cena's last match, his last two matches at that. His last two matches, he go out on his back. Like, his last retirement run had been, however you like it, subpar, or if it was the greatest match of all time, this greatest retirement lap of all time, however you want to look at it. It happened. And we're gonna look back at it, and you'll either still hate it or you will like it. You'll be like, you know what, this man went on his own terms. He said that he was gonna retire, and he did. He put over people, which in the business, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to put over talent and new talent. And I feel like that is what he did. Is how he put over the talent that a lot of people aren't happy with. At the end of the match, after John Cena had submitted, and the crowd is dead, you could see it pan around to everyone in disbelief, shock. Again, the best way to describe it is when the Undertaker was pinned by Brock Lesnar. He did not submit, but he was pinned by Brock Lesnar, and the crowd was like, we cannot believe this. We cannot believe that the streak is over. Just the same way we cannot believe that our hero, the man that does not submit, tapped out, just gave up. And so, like, this is where it gets. This is where, as wrestling fans, we may look back on this, and we may still feel the same way, or we may feel differently. We may mature, or we may look back on this and like, this was not the best moment to be a wrestling fan. But at the end of John Cena's match, when we had everyone come out, like people were starting to come out, we see Triple H. And again, whether you agree with Triple H's booking or you agree with the ending of the match, those are two different things. If you believe that Triple H had any input on this match besides letting John Cena know, hey, you gotta let him win. You gotta let him win. Then I have to break it to you. As a John Cena fan, John had if not 99% of creativity in that match, he had all the creativity in that match. He wanted that match to go the way it did. So the way that the WWE universe was belligerent to Triple H, it was not deserved. Now, with that being said, though, I do feel like Triple H should have been like, hey, I understand that you want, because they already gave him like inputs on things like John Cena wanted to have 22 dates. They gave him 36. He wanted his match to be the first match up, so that way they could show off the rest of the talent. He wanted his match to be done. He wanted his match to be the first thing on the card. They made it the end of the card. So you're telling me that after those two changes and the heel run, that they just gave it to us. They just gave it to us because they needed something for the Elimination Chamber. You're telling me that you couldn't pull rank and be like, hey John, I understand that you want to tap, but we can't do that. We can't do that. We won't do that. We won't do that. Like, you gave this man all this. You gave this man all this. You gave him the tournament. You gave him a run. You let him become a Grand Slam champion. All that for him to then give his whole legacy to Gunther, which, again, I have nothing against Gunther. He deserved the win. As much as it pains me to say, I don't think he needed the win for it to go out the way it did. I don't think he needed the win at all, to be honest with you. He, like, that position of that person that had to beat John Cena, I don't think it needed to be Gunther. Only because of the fact that Gunther already retired. He already retired Goldberg. He's already the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion that we have now. And he's a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. If there's anyone that didn't need this win, I honestly don't think it needed to be Gunther. I don't. And so that and how the match ended were the two things that irked me the most from that match. That's the difference between going out on your own terms and dying on your sword. I feel like John went out on his own terms. He did. He definitely did that. I feel like he should have died on his sword though, and gave us Super Cena at the end. He fought the good fight. He gave us AAs. He gave us the 5-knuckle shuffles. He gave the crowd the "you can't see me" one last time. He gave Gunther the "you can't see me." AAs through the table. AA's avalanche style. He gave it his all. And while he did that, I needed him to die on his sword. You've told cancer patients, and like to say that you tell us for years to never give up, and for you to give up. I understand that there is a poeticness about it, that like your body can go as far as it can only go so far. And as you age, you may not be able to do it anymore. I still needed you to pass out. I definitely still needed you to pass out. Watching my hero tap out to a man that did not need it, it hurt me. It definitely did. It definitely hurt me. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm still not the same. Like, I'm still not the same. This man was the only reason why I got back into wrestling. Like, I watched wrestling from the Attitude Era up until the PG era. And even still a little bit after the PG era, when COVID started to hit, I stopped watching wrestling. I'm gonna be honest with you. I stopped watching wrestling. And then I would come back in every now and again, just check on the status of wrestling, check on the program to see how it's doing and how everyone is going. And then when John Cena had announced his retirement, I wanted to make sure that I was there. I was able to be present to watch my hero have his last hurrah. And there was things that I liked about it. There was things that I didn't like about it. The heel run, I didn't like it. I didn't. The fact that we didn't get an Edge and John Cena match, that also rubbed me the wrong way. We had all of his best rivalries, but one of his best rivalries. We had the Randy Orton and John Cena match. We had the John Cena and CM Punk match. We had him become a Grand Slam champion. We had him become the never seen 17 17-time champion. Like, he's the new highest record, if you don't count Ric Flair's like 23 records. You know, we're not gonna count that. We're not gonna count that. But he's like the new 17-time champion. And so then becoming a Grand Slam champion, I understood that he could not leave as Intercontinental champion. And Dominic, Dominic could have used that win. Dominic needed that win. I don't have a problem with Dominic getting his title back. That was a good match. I just feel like back-to-back losses hurt the fans that love John Cena. And so that's why at the end of the match you heard a lot of bullshits or fuck you Triple H or AEW. And again, it was in bad taste, because those chants of fuck you and bullshit, while Triple H is tough. Like, if I believe if anyone that can take that shit on the chin, that was like in the meetings, it was like, hey John, I understand that you like that I know that you know that I know that you want this match to end, but the fans are going to blame me. And Triple H was like, you know what? I'm okay with that. So like he understood that he was going to get so much hate. And if he decides to become the more corporate evil, like, I hate to be like the Vince McMahon, like the Vince McMahon character, not the Vince McMahon senior, not like the actual Vince McMahon, but the Vince McMahon character. If he wants to be the Triple H Vince McMahon character, then this is the best time for it, because of the amount of heat and the amount of hate he's going to be getting off of this. This is the best time for it. But he does not deserve all that hate that he got. But yeah. I had to get that off my chest, because it hurt. It hurt a lot. And I want to know how you guys feel about the ending of the match. If you guys enjoyed the match. I've had people that told me that they felt like this was a good match. I heard people say that this was a very poetic, that, you know, he went out on his own terms. He called the match how he wanted it to. He gave as much as he could, and when it was not enough, he tapped out. He gave up. And while I can see that, and I can understand that your heroes are at the end of the day still human, and that you cannot, like, that your heroes are still human at the end of the day, and when it's time to go, it is time to go. And he was telling us at the beginning that his time is up. It's time to go. I understand that. I can respect that. I don't like it. I wish he had not went out the way he did. It's going to be hard to watch wrestling again without my hero. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've lost two big heroes in wrestling with The Undertaker, even though Mark Callahan is still there. He's still there, but The Undertaker is not. The character of The Undertaker is not there. Like, I got Mark Callahan. And so he's cool. He is. It's not what I want. And now with John Cena leaving, and not only is he leaving, he has made it clear, and I do believe that out of everyone, he has made it clear that he is not wrestling anymore. Not a legacy contract. Not he's going to AEW. Not he's going to TNA. Now he's going to Ring of Honor. He is done wrestling. So I think that's the hardest pill to now swallow, is that our last match of John Cena ever is now is going to be known as the match where he's tapped. He tapped out. And I think that's the part that a lot of people are having trouble with. Um is coming to grips with the last match that we saw our hero, that we saw John Cena the entertainer. Like you may see John Cena on the big screen in a movie role. You may see John Cena just doing cameo positions, or you may see John Cena at like at your local Comic-Con or at somewhere doing appearances. But we will never see the 17 gracing your stage for one last time. That was the one last time wrestling. We will never see that again. Like, if you want to see John Cena wrestle, you got to go and you got to watch his tapes, because you'll never see any more of John wrestling past the 13th. And I think that hurts the most. I truly do. And so I can only say that, like, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt less every day, but it hurts a lot knowing that one of my heroes is now gone. And if I want to see him now, I have to watch Peacemaker. I have to watch Fast and the Furious. I have to watch the next movie that he does, or the next TV series that he's in, um, to watch John Cena. I can't turn on SmackDown. I can't turn on Raw. I can't watch another pay-per-view unless he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and watch my hero salute, toss the hat, take off the shirt, in one go. In one go. You know how, like, when I learned how to do that shit in one go, like, not only did that make other things easier to do, but you know how just impressive that looks, and you just rip that motherfucker off in one go. Like, in the X-rated scenes of it, like, that shit hits. That shit hits. But, like, it's just hurts. It hurts me now to no longer see it hurts to never see John Cena now wrestle ever again. And I just I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna handle it. It's gonna take some time. Um you guys let me know how you feel about the ending of the match. I I will say the tribute did have me in tears. Between all of the WWE superstars saluting John Cena throughout the event, that John Cena's retirement went from just the WWE to AEW, with Samoa Joe saluting to John Cena, to in the indies. There were people in the indies doing the 5 moves of doom, saluting John Cena. So his retirement, I felt like it went more than just wrestling. And how they did it, they just should have let him lose, but lose to say lose with grace would then say he should have just tapped. Like, there's not that much grace to, like, pass out, but he should have went on his own sword. He should have went out on his sword. He should have died on his sword. And while talking about this, talking this through out to you guys, and just talking this through myself, because, like, there are no notes. This is just, and so you can see where I'm stuttering and stammering, and, like, probably back talking what I'm saying, but I wanted him to die on his sword. I understand the poeticness of him tapping out. He looked at peace. So I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that. Like I said, he went on his own terms. But there are wrestlers that have there are wrestlers that had went out on their own terms and still went out doing what they doing, being the same wrestler that they were to the end. And I feel like while he was John Cena to the end, John Cena don't tap out. And he don't tap out. And then for him to tap out, I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm talking in circles. I gotta end this video. I do. You guys let me know how you guys feel about the ending of John Cena's match. If you're a wrestling fan and you watched it, or if you're not a wrestling fan but you know who John Cena is and you know what he has done for the business, for entertainment, for just everyone. If even I feel like you don't even have to be a wrestling fan to understand what John Cena meant to people and what this last match had did for people. And if it left a bad taste in your mouth, or if you felt like this was an ending justified, please let me know in the comment section down below. But I've been your host, KingLionOFLocs. I'm about to be blasting. I'm a bad man, bloody but bumpy knuckles. Basic thugonomics. My time is now. Like, I got those songs on my iPod. I'm going to be blasting those music. I'm going to be blasting them shit because I just need. My hero died. My hero, he's not dead, but the wrestler is dead, and so I now gotta go and feel and make myself feel whole. I might have John Cena beat up Gunther on WWE because like I just can't feel like I feel like my hero is gone, and I don't like that. But you guys let me know. I've been your host, KingLionOFLocs. I'll catch you again later.